Today I want to tell the story of our very unfortunate 25th wedding anniversary between Amanda and I. And this goes back to August 20th of 2019. And the story isn't here to disparage Amanda. It's really an exercise on how alcoholism affects relationships, certainly the later stages, and how it destroys families. And this was really a perfect example of near the end. What could have and should have been a wonderful event turned into an absolute disaster, and unfortunately, it led really kind of to her demise a few months later. So here we go with our 25th wedding anniversary. I had booked a hotel up in Big Bear, which is about 2 hours from where we live in Southern California. It's a resort mountain town, and they have lots of shops, and they have a big lake up there. It's called Big Bear Lake. It's about 8,600 feet. Wonderful place to go in the summertime because it's usually about 30 degrees cooler in the mountains. So the first day went fine. We did some shopping. We had some nice bonding. We had a nice lunch. Then we went back to the hotel. The real problem is when we went out that evening, she had had a few beers at lunch or whatever she was drinking, glasses of wine. And then we went out to dinner, and I think it just kind of gave her carte blanche to start drinking. And I kept telling her to slow down, but unfortunately the disease had just taken over. Even though it was our 25th anniversary, there was no stopping. And we went to dinner. She had 3 or 4 then. I was getting very concerned. I really wanted to just go back to the hotel, but she just kept walking. She walked into another bar because there's a whole series of bars, and naturally I had to follow in there just to protect her from herself. And she just kept ordering glasses of wine and beer, and I just had to stand there and just kind of take it. And I realized this was going very, very bad, and I knew the course of the night was really going to get bad. So the waiter came over, and I really just said, please do not bring her any more alcohol. I've asked you like 2 or 3 times. At this point, we were sitting at a table. I said, stop, can you please cut her off? She can hardly, she's not making any sense at this point. I just couldn't even believe I was going through this in this particular evening. And of course, they just kept bringing her alcohol. And I got up, I got really mad at the waiter, and I had a few words to the owner, and I actually walked out the door. I wasn't going to deal with it. And a lot of people will have a problem with that. But if you don't understand the level and the just decades of going through this, there are breaking points for any relationship. And I had to pace a little bit up and down the stair, up and down the street. By then it was around midnight, and a lot of the places were closing. And I was just absolutely furious that had to go through this, that we had to go through this together again in a very public forum. So I decided after about 15 minutes to walk back into the establishment. It was really a restaurant with a bar in it. We had been sitting in the restaurant area, and I walked back in, and Amanda was passed out in the middle of the restaurant, face down, and she had thrown up in the middle of the restaurant. And there was a lot of patrons around. They were trying to help her up, and it was unbelievable. And I got extremely mad because they kept feeding her alcohol, and I really almost got in a fight with the owner because they would not stop, giving her alcohol. And to some degree, they said, well, we're just, we have to give our patrons alcohol. I go, not after I've asked you to stop 10 times. And it became just an unbelievable, just toxic, drama-filled night. From there, they pulled a chair on wheels from the office. We actually were able to prop up Amanda onto the chair. And it took us about, a good half hour, 45 minutes because there's stairs. We had to, roll her down the stairs. She was really pretty much passed out at this point. We cleaned her up a little bit. They got some towels, cleaned the vomit off her face. We rolled her down the stairs into the car, and 3 of us, 2 of the waiters and the owner, we were able to get her into the passenger seat. And they said goodbye. And I said, I don't think I'm going to be back here. And they said, good. I mean, it was just an evil kind of energy night. So I drove back to the hotel, and again, it took another half hour, 45 minutes to get her up. We were actually on the 2nd story to get her up the stairs without falling down the stairs. Finally got her into the bed. Next morning, she really didn't have a whole lot of memory of it. She was too hungover to go anywhere. So essentially, I stayed until like 11 or 12 on the second day. I was going to do a tour of the lake, but she was too hungover, so I just got her back down in the car and we just went home. And that was our 25th wedding anniversary. And again, this story is not to disparage my wife or to understand the situation, but it is to learn from this type of behavior. I know there's a lot of people who relate to this type of thing when they have an alcoholic in their family, and it's time to take action if you're finding these kind of situations on a regular basis. In other words, don't wait till it gets to this point. Intervene long before it gets to this point. If you need help with this, again, I've helped thousands of alcoholics. Click on the link above in my calendar link, Linktree. Schedule a Zoom call with me. I've helped thousands of alcoholics, and just as importantly, I've helped their families. Again, please like, share, and comment. We also have a Facebook group called Amanda, A Cautionary Tale of Alcoholism. It's become a very good support group. We talk about alcoholism and everything that's, every conversation I think you could have about it. And again, thanks for listening.